I was in the grocery store the other day and I saw Austin Monthly magazine.
Shout out.
It caught my attention because it's camping adventures.
And here in this
I love
October, it's perfect time for camping here in Texas.
Yes. And I noticed that it said 20 years of ACL Fest. And I'm like, I've played that festival many times. And there was one in particular that I was thinking, ooh, I wonder if they...
No shit.
And sure enough, there he is.
What?
A lot of blood.
Swinger looks a little bit cleaner today behind you.
The Swinger looks cleaner. Yeah, same guitar. But yeah, this was in 2006. I was touring on the self-titled album. We were coming from the West Coast. But
you were still like a full-time New Yorker?
Yeah, so we were living in New York. Dorian had just been born. I think he was only a few months old. And we were on a tour bus. And on the buses, everyone, especially the crew guys, they love keeping it like 68 degrees. So it's freezing on the bus. We were coming in from Arizona. We had just played California. So it's very dry. And we're parked next to the stage at ACL. And I think this was my third time or maybe my second time to play ACL. And so I'm in the back of the bus, getting dressed, buttoning up my shirt, and I feel something wet, and I touch my nose, and it's blood. And I'm like, okay, nosebleed, big deal. And so I'm pinching it, and my parents are visiting because they live up near Dallas, and my dad's a physician, best doctor in the world.
Dr. H.
Howard Kweller, MD.
Shout out H.
And so we're just like chilling. I'm pinching my nose. 15 minutes goes by.
How far are you out to set?
It's like probably an hour and a half before I got to go on. So I'm like, I'm not too worried, you know? But 30 minutes goes by and it's still not stopping. It starts stopping when it stops stopping. And I realized that it's both nostrils.
Oh, shit.
Which is like some different shit. Like I never had that before where both nostrils are bleeding, you know?
Were you mouth breathing at this point?
I was totally mouth breathing. I was just like pitching it and, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour goes by and it's not stopping. And at this point, the ACL people know that this is happening and they're coming on and off the bus, very concerned because there's 40,000 people out there. I'm on the main stage and it was a big slot. And... they're like...
Who was headlining that year?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and the Flaming Lips were across the field. Great lineup. And so these people are coming on the bus from ACL officials, and they're like, man, look, you go on in 30 minutes, like, we'll be back. And so then, 20 minutes till showtime, 15 minutes. 10 minutes before showtime... This guy comes on the bus from ACL and he's like, dude, why don't we just, we should get you to the hospital. I'll just go up on stage and I'll tell them that you can't play because you have a nosebleed, And I'm like, no way, dude. Like, fuck that. Like, that's the nerdiest way to go out. Like, ladies and gentlemen, Benkweller has a nosebleed and won't be performing this evening.
Damn.
And I was just like, we can't do that. So, like, I got to face the crowd, And it's kind of stable at this point. We have like towels and shit on my face, and so it's stable, And Gremlin, my guitar tech, comes on the bus. He's like, "All right, man, you got this." And so we walk over to the door of the bus. He opens the door. I walk down the steps, and the Texas heat just hits me. And then I feel the blood start back up. And I'm like, okay, here we go. No turning back. The stage is calling. It's showtime. And
rock and roll.
So I walk up the ramp. He puts the swinger on me. I plug into the Marshall. I walk up to the mic and I'm like, what's up, everybody? I'm bleeding out of my face right now, but I'm bleeding for you, and we're just going to fucking do this.
So back me up real quick. What band are you with at this point?
Okay, so yeah, it's a big band. It's, I think, a 5-piece. Because the Ben Kweller self-titled album it was a big wall of sound production. So there's like piano on every track. There's organ, kind of an E Street feeling production. So yeah, it was five piece, 3 guitars, / keyboard players. You know.
What is the band saying? Are they like, "Are you feeling all right"?
I
like,
mean, everyone's just kind of like scared.
Is everybody saying, "Let's not do it," and you're going, "Fuck it,
No,
we're
no,
doing
no,
it,"
no, no.
or-
No one was saying that. It was really just ACL was very concerned about my health. You know,
Red
they're very
tapes.
sweet. Like they're like, we should get you to the hospital, man. Like, you know, this isn't like, you don't feel like you have to play. It's okay. You know, it's like, no, we're playing. And yeah, the band, we're all kind of deer in the headlights. I mean, we were all just like, okay, like this is a sea of people, you know, and they were ready, like they wanted to.
And you were
rock.
like, "Let's give them all the rock we got." Or...
And so I just was like, we're gonna play our heaviest shit. And so plug in, tell the crowd what's going on, bleeding out of my brain, and I'm like, this is war. So we go into This Is War. And so the crowd's just moshing and it's blood's going everywhere. I'm choking on my blood. I'm trying to sing, spitting blood. It's disgusting, but it was
Rock and
it was a
roll.
thing. And so after the first song, Gremlin runs over to me. He's like, "Hey man, put this in your nose," and it was a cigarette filter that he broke off. And
Smart.
yeah, I was like, that was like a good.
It's like a MacGyver.
It was a good attempt, you
Good
know.
step one.
It was a good step one. I put it in my nose. We go into the next song.
Do you know what kind of cigarette it was from?
I think he smoked Camel Lights. Yeah.
Ah.
And so wides would have been better, you see. But I don't know if they make those anymore.
Or Black and Mild.
Yeah, black and mild, you know. Some of this width.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just kind of slips right out of my nose like it was nothing, you know. And so and I just have this idea. I'm like, well, I wonder if, you know, I could put a tampon in my nose because that's bigger than a cigarette filter. So I walk up to the mic and I'm just like, "Hey, does anyone have a tampon?"
And you're still just pouring.
Yeah, just bleeding everywhere. And hundreds of tampons get thrown at me. And so I'm just like looking around, okay, which brand do I want? You know, there's all different yellow, pink, blue. And so I grab one of each and I put 2 tampons in my nose.
Now, did you have to did you use like an applicator?
I don't recall if there was a plastic applicator. I think I just went for like a real natural one, just straight cotton. And so there were 2 though. So one might have, you know, I don't know. I switched it up. I went, you know.
You were getting a real sample.
I'm pretty sure it was a pink and a blue.
Okay.
You know, equal.
Yeah.
And so I put those in my nose. I keep playing, and halfway through the song, I just feel like my head is swelling up. It's like working too well now at this point, and I'm just
Nothing's
like,
coming through.
No, my face is starting to swell and
Because
explode.
they expand.
Yes,
and you're
dude.
pooling in your sinuses.
Holy shit, man. And so I'm like getting dizzy, and so like I go over to the piano to play Falling. That's always a great song at ACL. And when I walked over to do Falling, I'm just like, this is too intense. The tampons were too much. So I actually pulled them out.
Great relief.
It was great relief, but there was no stopping the flow at this point. It was just like, it was game on. I'm at the piano, blood's just pouring.
What's side stage looking like? Is it like, is there medics and shit?
Okay.
Or
Yeah. So there's
they not even like, holy shit.
There's a lot of concern happening side stage. There was an ambulance over here. There's paramedics kind of at every point crouching behind monitors.
And Gremlins just happen to be like,
and Gremlins like,
he's
no,
good.
we're like,
He's
yeah.
good.
It's like keeping people at bay. And then finally, like, after Falling, my pitiful attempt at singing Falling, which is a hard song to sing anyway, I stand up, put on the swinger, and one of my oldest friends in Austin, Charles Attal, he's one of the founders of ACL, great dude, love UCA. He walks up to me, he's like, "Bro, like, we got to get you to the hospital. Like, this is too much, man, you know?" And like, it's just like, you're bleeding too much, you know. This is a health concern now. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, like, looking back, it's like pre-COVID era. Like, I'm just leaving it, like, all of this
human blood.
Yeah, it was unsanitary. It was not good. And so I was like, okay. And so told the crowd I loved them.
It's pretty funny that you had mentioned the like the embarrassment of like if the festival is going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Kweller can't play because
Yeah.
he's got a nosebleed.
Too much.
And then you move it forward and you look at like where you wound up was you were on stage calling for a rainstorm of tampons so that you could put them in your nose.
Hey, I know.
Just that one is rock and roll and the other's like totally lame.
I like everyone to be on the same page, you know? I'm not like a showbiz guy, like where it's like smoke and mirrors. And
It's
like,
rock and
I
roll.
just want the crowd to be in it with me. Like, yeah, this is happening. I can't hide it, you know? I mean, I wanted to play the show. I did the best I could.
You
Got to the
did
hospital.
5 songs or?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 songs. Got to the hospital. Everyone, of course, was just like, oh, yeah, Kweller just on tons of cocaine, man. You know, that was like the rumors. And I remember Wayne from The Lips came up to me and was like, bro, you stole my show, man. Like, you stole my thing. Because
They use the blood.
he does a blood thing.
Yeah, at that
I was
time.
like, but dude, this was real blood. You know, I'm just like one-upping it a little bit. But I love you.
Yeah.
And we used to stay at the Four Seasons anytime we'd come to Austin. So that was like always a great hotel to stay at. And at the very end of the night, after Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers finished they were the last show, they closed down the festival, and they get to the lobby, and me and Mike Campbell are hanging out, and he's like, man, I heard what happened. I heard about your incident, man. I was like, yeah, it was pretty wild. And he's like, well, man, he's like, Dylan always told us, you know, that's why you got to roll with the windows down, because it's all about humidity. And, you know, so we always roll with the windows down. I was like, damn, all right.
The dry air will kill you.
Yeah, the dry air will kill you. You got to have the humidity. And, so, you know, Dylan's right. Like, the doctor at the hospital was like, yeah, you need to humidify. And he said air conditioners are the worst thing for the nostrils, and you know,
it just zaps.
Yeah. Oh, it just dries
quality
you out.
right out of the
What it
environment.
was a capillary up here, like way high, that burst.
It like froze.
Yeah,
the Freon
it was
just-
too cold and dry, and that's why it was coming out of both nostrils. It was just a very bizarre thing, and I tried rolling with the windows down. I wanted to be cool like the Heartbreakers and
Way
Dylan,
too loud.
you know, but it was just too loud. Yeah.